Hi everyone, as you can see, Rich is not here. He's on holiday, enjoying his great time. But what we're going to do here today is, as you remember the previous videos, we showed the Model Y bumper got damaged by his neighbor. He reversed the car in, there's actually footage and I'll add the video somewhere here so you can have a look. But what we're doing today is we're going to take the car to a trusted body shop of ours. We're going to show the process of how you remove the bumper. And then we're going to see what's behind it. Is there actually radars? Because there's been rumors that Teslas are removing radars and they're only going to use cameras. So we're going to have a look what's there. Is there any radars around? And then we're going to show you how everything's being put back together. So then I think that's going to be pretty interesting to see. Let's go to the body shop now and we'll have a look. So here I am at VAM with Tony. Tony's going to be the one who's going to do all the job on the Model Y, changing the bumper. Here's the new bumper. It's not fully ready, but Tony in a minute is going to explain what's going to be done with that in order to look nice and shiny. So Tony, you ready?
Certainly.
Cool, let's go.
Okay, the first procedure, obviously, open the front hood. In here, big area of plastic which needs to be removed. The first point of this is in two sections. Remove the rear section.
So just looking how you did that very easily, there is no screws, there's nothing,
screws.
It's just couple.
Literally go clips into these holes.
It just pops out very easily.
And pops out.
Great.
The next section is to remove the front, which is held in with 4 10mm bolts and one retaining clip on the near side.
Just one side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Remove the clip. There's an allocated space on each side of the clip just to get a flat-headed screwdriver under, and you remove the clip. That is there free. You then need 10mm drive. You should find then that that whole tray will come out in one piece. Now, just a tip, on the front of this tray, you have your connection for the trunk light. Disconnect the small connector here, right at the front. You need to put a tiny screwdriver or pick in there to release. Then remove the whole tray, exposing the bolts that hold the top front of the bumper.
So far pretty simple.
So far, a lot of these things are one-use plastic, so you have to be very cautious if you want to use them again. Okay, so along the top here, we have 5 10mm retaining bolts. Okay, that's the top released. We then have the sides and the underneath to release. Ideally, flathead and a trim clip remover to start the process. So down behind the wheel, you have 2 retainers to start with. Again, the same as under the hood. There is a slot in each one to get a flathead into to lift the centre of the pin out. Sometimes you have to try and spin them round because it can be facing away from you. If they're tight, trim clip remover and release. The next part is where you've got to have a bit of caution. You need to remove this trim here to get to the fixings of the bumper. There are several retaining clips and they don't always like to come out.
Okay, so you've got to be careful here.
Be as cautious as possible. And behind here you'll see there is a 10mm bolt. This is one of the clips that's come out of the trim.
So a couple of them are fine, but one stayed there.
Sometimes it will snap, they're just so hard into there.
Yeah.
But you don't have a lot of choice about that. There.
Let me just get inserted back in there. Simple as that.
Yeah. It is easy for these locators to snap off because they are very thin.
Okay.
So just be aware of that.
Well, this time we're all good here.
Yeah.
Nothing snapped up.
Okay.
Perfect.
And now I need to undo the 10mm. The top of the bumper should be free at this stage, which is clipped into a retaining bracket behind here. Before we go to there, we have to release the bottom and repeat this process on the other side. Now we have to release the underside of the bumper, and again there are several type of clips all along the front of the bumper. You can see this replicated. These are the holes on the new bumper where they clip all the way along the front. So
Quite a few of them.
Yeah. So I will just go along now and undo all of those.
Cool.
So there are the 6 retaining clips along the front. You need to pull the centre of the clip out to release it, because once they go in, they spread the back out to hold it in.
Alright, so next bit is...
Okay, once you've released both sides, behind the dirt shield here, you'll see down in the bottom corner there's a 10 millimetre nut coming upwards, which we have to release. After taking the 10 millimetre nut off, further inside of the bumper at the bottom are 2 retaining clips going down into the lower spoiler, which you need to remove in the same format as you did for the ones underneath and down the sides.
Okay, so this side is done, the bottom is unreleased. Now we can do exactly the same procedure on this side. Right, and the next bit is to release the bumper from
the wing.
From the wing.
There is a black plastic retainer here, and these are in very, very hard, and you do have to use some force to get them out, but it should come out. There we go.
There you go. That came out nicely.
Okay, and make sure it doesn't ride up over the wing. And that is the retaining bracket there, which obviously if it's been in an impact can be broken. You then have to release the clip that's holding the bumper to the front edge of the wing. Be very careful.
Both sides.
Both sides.
Yep.
For precaution, tape off the wing to save any damage. There's a retaining clip, 2 prongs come through, and you have to push back end down to release them. There is a centre locator as well, but that will just slide out when you push them out. So then to release this section, you have to push down on the back of these clips to release them out of the front bumper. They sit up under, you can just see them, they're just exposed when you pull the bumper. Once you've done that, it's a case of grabbing the bumper and pulling it forward on both sides.
As we saw earlier, it was just a bit stuck in there, but with a harder pull, it's just going to come out. Just release.
There we go.
And there's a bumper off.
Then the bumper off, descent gently in place. To then remove it from the vehicle, it's a good idea to turn the power off to the vehicle, save you any resets. You then release this wiring loom harness here, which is a red clip on the front of it, which you pull out and then release, and then the bumper will be off.
But what I was interested to see if there is still radar here, and there is. So there's been rumors that Tesla have been removed all the radars from the cars, but this one is still here. Recently they put an official statement saying there won't be any more radar, so I think in next month's cars coming out they're probably not going to have radars anymore. This one still does. And here's a boombox speaker that makes all the fart noises and everything. Quite a small thing, always in rain, always in dirt. It seems to be working fine. Right, so the bumper is off now, so it's a case of taking all the bits off and putting that bumper, is that correct?
It is correct. And the best way to do this, rather than disconnect each of these, which you would do again by sliding the red clip down and push it in, is to actually take each one out of its clip. So all you do is push the 2 side retaining clips, these, apart slightly, take them out. Be aware that each one of these has a rubber on it. Many people lose those, so just make sure you've got the rubber intact before you put it back into the new bumper. The reason for doing it this way is it saves you disconnecting the wiring loom off of everything. You can actually take all of this off in one go. Undo each one of the parking sensors in this format, then release the star drives, torque 20 off of all the lamps, the same procedure with the lower grille, and then you have to release these clips off of this to take the grille off. Follow the same procedure all the way across the bumper, reinstall in exactly the reverse order onto the new bumper.
And here is the brand new impact foam. Very simple, pull it out, take the pins out, put it back in. Simple as that. New. Okay, so the bumper goes back on now.
So everything in reverse order. First thing is to connect the connection back up, red clip in place, so it will not come apart. The idea is to do everything in total reverse order of what we just did.
That's pretty easy.
That's the top. You then have to put the bottom back into the tray, reinstall all the clips, side trims back in place, tray back in, and then we'll be ready to polish the bumper.
Okay, as I said before, obviously that's not great. So now we're going to talk you through how to make it look shiny.
Last process in the whole makeup. So after painting the bumper, flatting the bumper, preparing it, using Trizac, now machine polish. So we've got a cutting paste, which we apply obviously to the bumper. You have to do this at least twice to make sure you've got a good cut on it, and you don't want to overdo it either.
Oh, that looks already a little better.
Just for visual effects, I'll show you how instantly.
There we go.
So you repeat the process. Obviously I just did it quickly there for the benefit of the camera, but you repeat the process with this grade of cutting compound at least twice over the whole bumper.
You can even hear it's quite rough, isn't it?
Yeah, it is still cutting the surface of the paint. And then after we've done the whole bumper in this, we'll then use an even finer one as a finishing compound.
All right.
And then you will see the difference between the two prepared areas. Come along the bumper.
You can see the line here. Yeah, that's a massive difference. Straight away, pretty cool. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That's it from me. The Model Y is done. As you can see, it looks perfect. It looks as it was new. Next bit is going to be now Richard talking you through of the financial side of this, insurance, how much does it cost, and stuff like that.
So there we are, back to full health and already filthy dirty again. So yeah, it's just been to Cornwall and back and yesterday. So right, what did it cost? Those repair costs. Are Tesla parts expensive? Are they hard to fix, easy to fix? Well, I think you saw there that actually the bumper removal process is all very easy. Nothing too much damage there. So in terms of the parts cost, this is what we've got. That whole front bumper, the whole plastic front bumper, it took about 10 days to arrive. That was £300 plus VAT. Very reasonable, I think. I mean, you get a front bumper for most cars, it'll be more expensive than that. So I was quite surprised there. And then under the front bumper, at the top there, you've got that kind of metal panel, which you saw in the video was dented in at the point of the impact. It's a fairly sort of light panel, but actually quite hard to bend back into place. We're going to try and salvage it, but it was a bit crumpled. However, not too expensive. And the plastic carrier behind that, both of those bits together, just over £120, not too bad at all. The foam insert on the slam bar, that £33, very reasonable. And then we've also got the black plastic, this bit here, and we haven't actually just changed this yet, we just haven't had time. We're going to get it back in the workshop and change this bit. We've now got the part for that in, which took a little bit longer. So this is slightly damaged here. That whole black plastic bit there, another £300. So all in all those parts prices actually under £900. So, you know, well done Tesla. I think that's very fair, very reasonable. Didn't take too long to get the bits. Obviously this is an early Model Y in the country. They had to be shipped in, but it was about 10 days for the front bits, and then this back bit here was a few days longer than that. So not too bad at all. And then you got the paint and the labour and fitting on top of that. But nothing too tragic, nothing too expensive. All back to health, back in use again. So there we are. All done, not too difficult at all. So I hope it's been useful. Interested to see how that bumper comes off there, and we do still have the radar under that in the middle there in the UK. So we'll call it wraps to that video. I'm glad to get my Model Y back on the road, and we'll see you on another video soon.